KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Tokyo 21, presented locally by IT&E.
Hafa and thanks so much for streaming us, Guam. Welcome to Weekend Edition. If you're watching us on KUAM TV 82, we welcome you and your family. Hope you're having a pleasant island weekend. I'm Jason Salas. Guamanians ended their work week with tragic and somber news on Friday night, as Governor Lulian Guerrero posted a video on Facebook in which she announced the terrible news that Guam suffered its 7th COVID-related death. The latest victim is a 34-year-old man with underlying health conditions, and he had been on a ventilator at GMH since the beginning of the month. He is the youngest casualty of coronavirus, and he had traveled to Guam from Hawaii. KUAM wishes to extend our sympathies and prayers to the man and to his family. And we move on in our rundown as best we can, as elsewhere on the island on Saturday morning, our island community received word that the nuclear supercarrier, the USS Ronald Reagan, had docked for safe haven Liberty. Now, this isn't the first time in the COVID area that Navy ships have pulled into port for that reason, with the USS Blue Ridge and USS Bunker Hill previously having port visits of their own. Now, for the safety of the sailors aboard and the civilian community at large, the Reagan's crew only has access to specific areas on the pier and at a secured beach at Naval Base Guam in Sumai. The Navy says there will be no interaction with personnel outside those designated areas. Also today, additionally, the Archdiocese of Agana has updated its schedule of masses for this weekend, given the implementation of the governor's week-long lockdown, which went into effect Friday at noon. Most parishes will be holding mass via live streams or public address system broadcast for nearby residents, or via parking lot services for distribution of the Holy Eucharist. The Hagatna Cathedral will live stream its 9:30 morning mass on KUAM's Facebook page and broadcast on KUAM TV8. The Archdiocese has expressed strong concerns about church services being deemed non-essential during this time of public crisis. The island's Catholic faithful are encouraged to visit the websites and social media channels of their village parish for mass formats and times throughout the week. And also, one Southern family continues to grieve, but there is a tad bit of justice tonight, as Sergeant Rob Shaw, an airman who traveled home to Guam from New Mexico with his wife to bury his recently deceased little brother, was able to test out of quarantine and attend the memorial service. Rob's story, as he shared with us on the link on Thursday, touched thousands of viewers, as he was unable to be cleared to attend the service because he was a passenger on the flight from Hawaii to Guam in which another passenger was COVID positive. But today, Rob shared with KUAM News that he was tested for coronavirus and confirmed to be negative, and then released from quarantine to be with his family today for the memorial. He does send his heartfelt thanks for the many sympathies and people in the community who have reached out and offered he and his family their condolences. Well, it has been a long time coming, but a contract is finally before the governor for a company to develop a master plan to modernize the Department of Corrections. Sabrina Salas-Matanani has this report.
Once the governor signs it, then the vendor that was awarded the contract will be given the letter to proceed, and then we'll work again with his schedule because he would have to fly out here.
4 years ago, the Department of Corrections was awarded a $250,000 federal grant to have a study completed on how best to go forward with upgrading its facilities. Although the latest extension deadline to use or lose the money is September, Major Antone Uggins says the feds have given them yet another break.
As far as I know, we do get another extension. We have another extension, and it's not until 2021. That the grant is still good.
According to Uggin, on the governor's desk is a contract with Information to Energy out of Atlanta, Georgia.
This is the same company that assisted us a while back. I mean, he's been on Guam before working with GPA and other companies. He's also assisted us in our locking device upgrade. He was the one that helped us with the when we upgraded post 6, 7, and 17 locking device project a few years ago. He was one of the persons that helped us develop the specs and ensure that we were, getting the right locks for our facility.
And now the company, the only one to respond to the RFP, could be back, but this time to work on a master plan for DOC.
It's about 14 different phases of the project, including, of course, historical data, doing analysis on the data as far as our population. Looking at all the buildings, they're supposed to do a complete engineering, structural review of all our existing buildings, talk to the staff, work on best practices, review our camera system, locking systems, the layout of the land. They're supposed to do a review of the entire land, and it's about 14 different phases of work.
If signed, Duggan says it will take about 18 months to complete. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matson.
Elsewhere this evening, 40-year-old Steve John Santos Jr. was arrested and charged with drug possession, vehicle without identification, expired registration, and not having a mandatory insurance. According to court documents, police pulled Santos over on August the 14th for an expired registration. Guam's Finest also noticed he had a pair of different license plates on the car. Santos told police he didn't have insurance or registration for the vehicle, then consenting to a search. Police found 0.3 grams of meth, later testing presumptive positive, as well as drug paraphernalia inside the car. Santos allegedly told police, and I quote, "Sir, I take ownership of the drug in the pouch," end quote. He also said he'd been smoking ice since he was 16 and that he'd smoked earlier that night. Elsewhere, 28-year-old Jonathan Shioko was arrested and charged with theft of an automobile as a felony and unauthorized use of an automobile as a misdemeanor. Court documents state that Shioko rented a car between June 22nd and June 26th. He then paid an extra day and allegedly failed to return the vehicle even after the rental company tried to reach him. Police located Shioko and the vehicle with a woman. That woman said Shioko told her he didn't need to pay for the car because of coronavirus. Also, Shioko appears to be on pretrial release, where a bench warrant was issued. Moving on in our rundown now, this next story, one of our island's very own is making waves and climbing ranks. KUAM's Tomas Manglotnia sat down with Sergeant Isaac Balahaja of the 294th Infantry Regiment of the Guam National Guard and continuing to stay ahead of the pack.
Back in 2018, I went through Air Assault School. Air Assault School is basically one of the Army's hardest school you can go to. Besides from there's other schools out there that are harder, like Ranger School, Sniper School, but Air Assault School for a regular M-Day soldiers, a kind of tough school, they say the hardest 12 days in the Army.
And 25-year-old Sergeant Isaac Balahaja from Sinahanya with the Guam National Guard soared above all expectations, excelling at the schoolhouse in Fort Benning, Georgia, leaving his mark with his now fellow instructors.
We graduated, they kind of gave us a brief on if you wanted to come and work for them, and they kind of one of them pulled me to the side and said, "Hey man, you'll probably be a good fit here." So yeah, I'm in a air assault school house right now. I teach air assault and basically sling load operations, rappelling out of helicopters, and had a bunch of fun stuff.
He said while he was hesitant to accept the offer at first, he jumped right in to expand his horizon.
I need something more than just go home and educate my battalion or be an SME for my battalion. I want it more for myself, so I can better be an SME for my battalion.
While he's spending time away from family, he says he always keeps home in mind with deep pride and commitment to his island.
It's okay to leave home to better yourself. It's okay, but I will never forget where I came from, and I will never forget the battalion that bred me to who I am today.
He's staying true to that mission. While he probably won't be home for good in the next 3 years, he has sights set on working for the National Guard Bureau.
I feel fit that I really want to work for NGB because I can best help out Guam. And how can I help out Guam is basically get Guam's soldiers and get the National Guard on a more bigger scale, as in getting schools out there to Guam.
He says while he's on his own personal journey, he hopes others at home find inspiration in his story. For Guam's News Network, I'm Tomas Manglotnia.
All right, thank you so much, Tomas. Great job on that story. Also tonight, Habitat for Humanity of Guam continues to make efforts amid pandemic times in an effort to help those most in need. Now, recently, members held a private groundbreaking ceremony for the next 2 affordable homes down in Malolo. Community support and the Gura Home Grant Program made it possible to construct the 5th and 6th homes in the small Habitat community on Bilambina Street in the Southern Village.
we just broke ground last weekend on the Homes and Village Leader Street, and that window of opportunity where the shutdown was lifted and we were able to get down there to Malolo for a private ceremony. We went ahead and we did that because we knew that, you know, when the governor ordered the shelter in place, a lot of things that crossed our minds was, you know, when you tell folks to shelter in place, a number of people don't have that.
They hope to complete the homes within 10 to 12 months. They welcome any support through their website at habitatguam.org, as activities are limited during the coronavirus pandemic. Also tonight, the Motor Vehicle Division over at Rev & Tax in Barrigada Heights has released the temporary mail-in application form for non-Real ID Guam driver's licenses and conversions of intermediate to full licenses. That form with instructions can be found at the agency's website at govguamdocs.com. For more information, contact Rev & Tax at 635-1817, and you can also call their call center at 635-1840, 41, 42, or 57. You can also use their contact section of their website or email pinadmin@revtaxguam.gov. I know that's a lot to process, so make sure to go to KUAM.com. We've got all of the contact information there if you need help from our friends at Rev & Tax, and we also thank Director Daphne Shimizu and her wonderful staff for the great job that they are doing. Well, please stay tuned, everyone. When Weekend Edition comes back, we've got Trend Spotting with Tyler Matanani and Sports with Dave Delgado.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Our biggest SUV, the Palisade, and our smallest SUV, the Venue. Remember, it's not the size of the dog in your adventure, but the size of the adventure in your dog. Big or small, it's better in a Hyundai SUV.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
When your potential is limitless, your experiences are endless. Introducing the new GTA Multi-Line Limitless Plan. Explore island life with no limitations and never stress about running out of data or minutes. Enjoy unlimited local talk, text, and data, high-quality music and video streaming, and connections to loved ones on island and in the US and CNMI. Plus, $5 savings for each additional line sign-up. Experience your data plan your way. GTA. We start with you.
COVID-19 is back with a vengeance. We've experienced the worst number of cases twice this week, and now we're going under some of the strictest measures to quell the virus. It's time to do your part, Guam. I'm Tyler Matanani, and here is your Trend Spotting Report.
The numbers tell a story. Community spread. We began the week with some of the worst numbers we had ever seen. 42 reported just on Monday, but that was just a hint of what was to come. Over the weekend, the governor rolled the island back into PCOR 1 after our COVID count continued its upward trend. Non-essential businesses shuttered again, and we were forced back into lockdown. On Tuesday, there were another 19 cases reported, then 22. Then on Thursday, the governor called for a press conference to announce more devastating news. Guam suffered its 6th COVID-19 related death. That morning, a 70-year-old man was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead on arrival. According to the Joint Information Center, the man wasn't a known COVID-19 case, but he did have underlying health conditions. He was swabbed at GMH and was found to be positive for the virus. The rising numbers and new death put officials on alert. Governor Lulian Guerrero and her team, including hospital administrator Lillian Posadas, were very much concerned about hospital capacity. Posadas also said patients were coming in much more critically ill, requiring oxygen and ventilators. The governor even stressed that despite what you might think of who's affected by the virus, Guam is seeing lots of younger people infected, even those seeking critical care. For sure, Thursday afternoon, we were all shook by the death as we waited to hear of the next set of numbers to return from public health. The lab, however, is swamped with tests piling from community outreach as well as private clinics. Officials all said the report would be late on Thursday. Public health was behind by some 1,500 samples, which they say were safely refrigerated. And we waited till the end of the day as rumors spread of triple digits. Sadly, the rumors were true. The governor made the announcement via social media. 105 positive cases out of 962 samples. It's prompted her to take drastic measures, closing all businesses except for grocery stores, healthcare services, and other life-preserving operations. Let's take a breath here and look at some of your thoughts on this. Larry DeHelig says, please stop all the negative comments. Take a moment to pray. This is not the time to start pointing fingers. Do as what we've been told to do. Stay indoors. Just saying. Be safe and take care, Guam. Kinet Kamtai also says, great decision, Governor. Our frontliners are getting hit from COVID-19. And Ruth Pablo Gagnon adds, not looking good, Guam. Shouldn't have gone this far if people had adhered to mandates from day one. And looking at one of our Instagram comments from the Peter Rivera, he says, this will never end because we don't have control of all the people that are positive. Are they really staying at home? And if they are, everyone in that household needs to stay home as a precaution. Shelter in place, lockdown, but yet the same things will still be open as now? What's the difference? Amidst all this heavy information, there was a hot spotlight cast on Guam thanks to the talent of Brian Esperon. The choreographer is the hottest thing on TikTok right now, breaking it down to the WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Esperon was backed by the crew from Skip, including KUAM alum Cami Aguirola. The great Cardi B herself even went live, trying to learn Esperon's dance. Don't forget to check out my interview on In the Mix this week with Brian, and maybe you can learn the WAP while we're all under lockdown. Check out the comment from Cardi herself. My back hurt watching it. Let me try it.
Hopefully, you're going to protect yourself to protect all of us. That means staying at home by any means, keeping those masks on, and when you do go out, make sure to keep your distance. And now we wait. Until next week, stay safe, Guahan. Adios.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Juan? Dave Doug, KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. On the show today, Seven Siswico, recently getting the appointment from the GBC, Guam Basketball Confederation, being the director for the movement for 3-on-3 basketball. First off, how'd you feel when you got the call? And talk about just moving forward now and where we're going to go with the sport.
I felt honored that they'd have the confidence in me to, head this 3-on-3 movement that's been happening, not only on Guam, but around the world. I feel good about it. It's a lot of opportunity for not only the men's program, the women's program, but the youth as well.
Yeah, 3-on-3 basketball has definitely been evolving around the nation, and it definitely starts at the younger age groups? I know you guys are really trying to get it pushed starting for the middle school level.
Yeah, not only the middle school level, we're trying to get into interscholastic sports. And then I know EJ's, we're having a lot of good movement with the youth as far as the camps that's been going on for, just starting at the little kids to the men's to everybody. It's trying to get everybody involved.
And you've been there. You've represented Guam winning gold in the 3-on-3 in Apia, Samoa. 3-on-3 basketball is universal, and it allows our players, we're guard heavy on Guam, but it's going to give our players a chance to really showcase their talents on the basketball court.
Yeah, I mean, Guam's always had, speed and heart. Those are our two big strengths. And, those things are very important in the game of 3-on-3. So, we got a lot of good shooters. We got a lot of kids that are willing to work. And it's a perfect opportunity for them to compete at the international level, the interscholastic level, locally, and, everywhere around the world.
And for you, jumping right into it, what are some of the things you can probably implement right now? I mean, during the pandemic, lockdown, no access to basketball courts, but the kids definitely want to get out there and really start working on their game.
Yeah, there's a lot of good programs online. People are doing at-home workouts. There's tutorials. There's YouTube. They can work out via Zoom if they want to together. As far as individual games, those can always be worked on, and that's where the real work goes in, and then it shines on the basketball court. But at least 3-on-3 is less people, so less contact. There's only 6 people on the court as opposed to 10 people on 5-on-5.
And the thing about 3-on-3 basketball, it's the size and the weight of the ball. For those that haven't played the game or been around the 3-on-3 sport, talk about the ball in general.
Yeah, so the ball, depending on where the 3-on-3 game is going to be played, typically they have it outdoors. They try to do it, so the ball tends to have a little bit more grooves, and they say that is a little bit more control with the wind factor that plays out there. And then as far as size, it's women's size but men's weight, so it feels kind of weird at first, but you think it's easier to control, but it's just something people aren't used to yet. But through time and repetition, people are going to get used to it more and more.
And for you, representing Guam at the 3-on-3 level and also being a part of the men's national basketball team, you're bringing a wealth of experience to the youth. I'm sure you're really motivated and excited to get out there and work with them. But for you, talk about maybe some of the things that you want to get access to help these athletes as far as just understanding the game of 3-on-3 basketball and improving their skills.
We have a lot of things that we're going to be trying to do. Right now, it's kind of tough with the current situation in the whole world. So we're just trying to get, when it opens back up, more tournaments. As far as rules and regulations, we're going to be trying to get some more literature out there so people can be reading and at least they know kind of what's going on. But the best way to learn really is, just to get on the court and just work through your mistakes and then get better.
Have you seen firsthand the talent pool of athletes that Guam has to draw from? We've been competing at the U15, U17 level for FIBA, but you now as a director and as a coach looking forward to working with these kids, how excited are you to see the talent pool that Guam has to offer for 3-on-3 basketball?
It's good, and it's been getting bigger and bigger, and I know the more options that kids have out there, it's better for everybody, including the parents, just to get them off the streets or just something for them to do. But as far as opportunities, I know at my age, we didn't really have the U15 and that kind of stuff like that. Is if you were good enough, you're playing with the men, and that's it. So it's good that kids can actually have groups of kids that they can work out with that are the same age, same talent level. And now there's a lot more options for them. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about the 3-on-3 basketball is players register their teams on the FIBA site and actually get ranked worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the cool thing about it is if you have your squad and you want to compete against other guys, on island and eventually off island, you can accumulate points that translate internationally onto the website, like you said, on 3on3.com. And, that's a good way for kids to kind of get that competition going and their rankings. And, they want to see their number advance, and they want to get more points. They want to compete more. They want to win more games. So it's a good way to motivate kids that way.
And you talked about having a Zoom meeting with the FIBA people stateside. What's those talks been like as far as getting the appointment from the GBC and really getting it out there that you're the guy for Guam on the FIBA level?
So we've been involved with FIBA for 5-on-5 for a long time now, and 3-on-3 is kind of a new division that they're kind of working on. So this will be my first. It's like a coaching prepping meeting. So as being the director, I guess we're going to have to learn how to work as a coaching standpoint, participation standpoint, the rules and regulations. So it's kind of like we're starting at the ground level, but we're kind of halfway of being there. So they're just trying to get everybody on the same page, and it's really about just getting more opportunities for kids and people on Guam.
And for parents and kids out there that want to get more information, should they just log on to the GBC website? Should they follow the Instagram? Where should they get information from?
Yeah, we have our Instagram, we have a Facebook page. A lot of our camps and stuff are being announced on there. And then it's always good to just contact either myself or EJ Calvo, the head coach, in terms of things that are coming up, things that we'll be doing. Things change day by day, but as far as 3-on-3, you can Google 3-on-3, start watching videos and, watch international games. And it's pretty exciting because the girls get involved, and the girls are actually, they're balling out too.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate the time.
Cool. No problem.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
All right, everybody, it is, of course, the weekend, and just because we all have to stay home, and we do, and make sure that we glove up, mask up, stay apart, take care of ourselves, and take care of others, that doesn't mean we can't celebrate your birthday. So here are tonight's birthday shout-outs for this weekend. When your birthday falls on a weekend, it is especially happy. So, happy birthday on August 22nd, a Saturday this year, to Romy Mindiola. Brother, we sometimes go too long without catching up with each other. I want you to know how often I think of you and how much I treasure the times we do get to talk. I'll always adore you and our time together. God bless, and we will always be with you. From your one and only sister and your brother-in-law, May and Ed. Great job, May and Ed. That's a great heartfelt shout out. Happy birthday also going out to Kathy Barcinas, who was born on August 22nd, and all of your friends and family all over Guam are sending you the very best on your birthday. And on Sunday, August 23rd, Vanessa Lynn Matabusan celebrates birthday number 14. Happy number 14, Vanessa Lynn, from your adoring family. Hope each and every one of you has the very, very best birthday. Remember, everybody, you can go to Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club on KUAM.com. Just click up at the tippy top where it says birthdays. Get somebody in absolutely free, and it's cool. And also remember, please stay home. We got 7 days to make this thing happen, so let's all do our part. Take care of each other. Again, get your gear in place. Stay apart from each other. Let's do this. We can do this, and we will do this, Guam. We're in this together. We'll see you next time.